Hello everyone, and welcome to this Dom Labs tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple enemy AI in Unity. You can see here that I have a sample scene set up with a player game object and an enemy game object. Right now, my player game object has a player top-down movement script on it, so we can move around. And my enemy, I'm going to add a new script, and I'm going to name it Tracker Enemy AI. Now, I'm going to open up this script inside of Unity, open it up in my choice of coding editor once it loads, so I'm going to edit this script, and I'm going to delete these methods, but we will use them later. I'm going to create a public game object, and this is going to be a reference to our player, and then I'm going to need a public float, and I'm going to name this speed. Now, inside of the update method, I'm going to set a float distance is equal to vector2 dot distance between the player dot transform dot position and this game object dot transform dot position. Then I'm going to do a float direction, where this is going to be a vector2 direction, and this is going to be equal to our player.transform.position minus our transform.position. This will get the direction from the player to us, so that way we know which way to move. Now we're going to do an if statement, and we're going to do if our distance is less than a certain radius. So I'm going to create another public float, and I'm going to name this view radius. So we're going to check if our distance is less than the view radius. Then this view radius is going to be a little boundary that the enemy cannot see out of. So if it is, then we're going to move the enemy towards us with our speed. So we're going to do a transform.translate, and it's going to be direction times speed and then times time.delta time to make it consistent across different frame rates. So now I'm going to have another method, and it's going to be on draw gizmos, and then I'm going to do gizmos.color is equal to color.yellow. Then I'm going to do gizmos.draw sphere, draw wire sphere, and it's going to be transform.position, and then it's going to be view radius. Now this is just going to draw some debug lines for us so that we can see where the enemy's view radius is and how far he can see. So now let's go back inside of here. The player I'm going to drag onto here. The speed I'm going to set to something like 4, and then the view radius, as I increase this, you can see that this circle goes out and is enveloping the player. If you do not see this circle, you might have to toggle this button up here, and it will show the gizmos back to you if they are turned off. I'm going to set the view radius to something like 8, and now I'm going to click the play button. So right now, you can see that the enemy is moving towards us, just like this. And he's moving very fast. So what I'm going to do is set the enemy speed to something like 1. Now I'm able to move away from him, but the enemy is still moving kind of fast. So I'm going to set the speed to something like 0.25, and then move away. And you can see that now the enemy has stopped moving. If we go back into our scene view, however, you can see that the player is out of this yellow circle. If I move the enemy inside, now you can see that it's moving. Now if I move the enemy out and the player is not in this yellow circle, the enemy won't be able to see it. If I up the view radius, so now he can see it, if I stop it, then the enemy will stop moving. And so now you can change the different view radiuses of all your enemies, and you can also If you need to, you can change this to be a raycast, just so that the enemy can't be able to see through walls. So that the enemy, if you can directly see the player, then it will move to it. But if there's a wall blocking it, the enemy won't move through the wall and to the player, which is much more realistic. But with that, this Unity tutorial is finished. If you like this tutorial, please give our channel a like and a subscribe because it really helps out a ton. Thank you!